Hi, I'm Tom Seay. Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. This week, we're returning for part 2 of our visit to Mackinac Island in Michigan with the Mackinac Horsemen's Association for a special ride weekend with viewers at the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. Motorized vehicles have been banned from this island since 1898, making this a most unique location where the horse is king and a pre-automotive lifestyle is being preserved. It's kind of like going back in time almost 200 years. Visitors get around the island by horse-drawn taxi, horseback, bicycles, or simply walking. 80% of the island is a state park with beautiful horse and carriage trails, historic trails, and natural rock formations. You can bring your own horse to Mackinac Island to tour these sites and board it at the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. We will show you how you can do that, as well as where you can stay on the island. We will show you more of the riding trails, including where you can ride your horse into the water at the British Landing. We will also take a short tour of the downtown area by carriage, eat at the Pink Pony, and show you more of the activities arranged for our group at the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. Join us now for part 2 of our trip to Mackinac Island in Michigan.
On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, we are continuing our trip to Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association and the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. The Horsemen's Association hosted us and a limited number of our viewers for a special ride weekend on the island. Motorized vehicles have been banned from the island since 1898. Making this the only location of its kind in the nation. Here the horse is king, and horseback riding or horse-drawn wagons and carriages are how people and things are moved around the island.
This is the way you get around.
That's right, either bicycle or horses, and that's what makes Mackinac so special. There's few places where you go where the horses aren't just a part of the tourism trade, it's a part of life here. Your taxis are horse-drawn. Your drays, which are our semis, our pickup trucks, those are horse-drawn. Our carriages are horse-drawn. And we have everything from Belgians and Friesians and large draft horses to very fine hackneys and other warm-blood horses as well. Wonderful variety of horses on Mackinac, everything from horseback to carriages to sulkies to a little bit of everything here.
The Mackinac Community Equestrian Center hosted us and the riders for the weekend, where our horses were made comfortable in roomy indoor stalls or outdoor paddocks with run-in sheds. Manager Ashley Day organized a great riding weekend for our group with the help of local volunteers. Every detail, from helping us get our horses to the island by ferry to learning about the history and preserved horse culture on the island, was covered in the rides she organized and the speakers they booked for us. Since 83% of Mackinac Island is state park, Phil Porter, director of Mackinac State Historic Parks, spoke to our group about what they can expect to see while visiting the island.
How do you get here? What do they see? What's available here?
So Mackinac Island is in the Straits of Mackinac, the body of water that connects Lakes Michigan and Lake Huron, on the very tip of the Michigan Mitt. You get here mostly by boat. There's a small airport as well, but the vast majority of people will take a ferry boat ride. It's only about 20 minutes from the mainland, from St. Ignace or Mackinac City. And when they come here, they discover a place that's rich in history. It goes back into pre-contact Native American times, when the Native people understood Mackinac as a very sacred place. It continues to the French, the British, and the American period, the fur trades, forts like this one that were built to protect the fur trade. And then after the Civil War, Mackinac becomes a summer resort. And it became so popular so quickly that the federal government decided to do something to protect it forever. And that's when they created Mackinac National Park. Not many people realize that Mackinac was the second national park in this country. Only Yellowstone in Wyoming Territory predated Mackinac. Back then, the soldiers of the fort took care of the park, and when the Army took the soldiers out of the fort in 1895, 20 years later, it was turned over to the state and became the state's first state park.
The government had the foresight to protect Mackinac Island by making it a park. 20 years ago, a group of local horse people had the same foresight to protect the horse culture on the island and created the Mackinac Horsemen's Association.
About 20 years ago, the Mackinac Horsemen's Association was started on the island to keep people riding in the horse culture. There's no cars allowed. They were all banned in 1898. So we either do it by horse or by bicycle. So we got to keep the equestrian and the horse active on the island. So we want the kids that go to school here to come to our facility, learn how to ride, go through the summer and take 4-H classes and take lessons so that they can continue working on the island like they have been. So we're here for education. We're here to get horse groups from around the state, different states, to come here and enjoy the island and enjoy our facility.
Our group enjoyed the facility as a gathering place between rides organized by manager Ashley Day. The ride she laid out gave guests a true taste of the beauty and history of the island. One of the favorite riding spots in the summer is British Landing, where riders can take their horses into the water to cool off. British Landing is on the northwest side of the island. It is where the British troops landed to capture Fort Mackinac and control of Mackinac Island from American troops during the first land battle of the War of 1812. From here, guests have great views of Lake Huron, St. Ignace, and the Mackinac Bridge. It was a cold, damp day when we rode to British Landing, but that didn't stop some riders from attempting to get their horses to go into Lake Huron. Even though the waves breaking on the shore were pretty small, horses never experiencing this before were hesitant to go in. The cold didn't stop one rider from enjoying an ice cream treat from the Cannonball restaurant. Although most of the riders opted for hot dogs and coffee to warm them up before continuing the ride.
Ashley, we have been riding with you for several days, and now at the end of the ride, I want to ask you, how did it turn out, in your opinion? You've been working on this for months.
I think it went great. We kind of combined quite a bit into the trail rides. So we did a little bit of riding up by the forts, hit Fort Holmes and near Fort Mackinac. Everyone got to enjoy the water today, so they rode down by British Landing, and then we incorporated quite a bit of the wooded trails as well.
We have these beautiful forests with hardwoods and conifer trees and natural wildflowers. It's really a beautiful place to ride, and the bridle paths are just lovely to ride on. They're good surfaces to ride on for horses as well. Occasionally you'll stop and you'll get an overlook over this beautiful Straits of Mackinac water, and that's beautiful as well.
We'll have more from Mackinac Island in Michigan when Best of America by Horseback returns. Best of America by Horseback is riding with viewers on Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association. On last week's episode, we highlighted the first two rides organized by Ashley that took us past the forts and natural rock formations on the island. The first ride took them right by both Fort Holmes and Fort Mackinac, so they could get a taste of the history of the island, up close and personal.
And you have living history demonstrations here?
Yes, all day long. We have cannon firings and rifle firings. We do demonstrations of guard mounting. We march people around the fort, and we have lots of exhibits that are interactive and fun for all ages. Within half an hour or 45 minutes, you're going to really be able to see the highlights of Mackinac Island State Park. First of all, you'll probably start up at the top of the island where we have Fort Holmes. It's a reconstructed War of 1812 fort, just recently reconstructed as a bicentennial project that we undertook. It's not only a wonderfully historic area, but from up there you have the most magnificent views over Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, the Straits of Mackinac, the Mackinac Bridge. Just a great place to stop, whether you're walking, biking, or on a horseback, and just enjoy the views.
So Fort Holmes, you can ride right up and around it, and it's got a beautiful view. It's actually the highest point on the island, so you can ride right up to it, hop off for a moment, walk around the fort if you'd like. It's a great spot for pictures if you want to get the water behind you and the bridge.
Between rides, Ashley, Steve, MHA board members, and volunteers organize meals, demonstrations, and seminars for our group.
I have a question for you. This is our very, very first trail ride meeting like this at the facility. Has everybody had a good time? And hopefully we'll all be back again next year, or whoever would like to come visit.
Colonel Don Packard and his wife Jan represented and spoke to the group on behalf of the Michigan Horse Council. Tracy Monk, a nutrition specialist with Tribute, spoke to the group on equine nutrition. The center uses Tribute feed and keeps plenty on hand for boarders and people bringing their own horses to the island. They also keep a supply of hay, buckets, and grooming tools, so all you have to bring to the island for your horse is your tack. The Horsemen's Association handed out commemorative ride t-shirts to everyone, including a special shirt signed by our entire crew for Adam Levy. Riders enjoyed having Tom and our crew autograph their shirts, as well as other riders. A wonderful dinner of grilled steaks, potatoes, and green beans were served to our group while they enjoyed live musical entertainment by the Springsteen Brothers. And Judy, a board member, brought her wagon and team and gave hay rides around the facility as well. At the end of the evening, riders shared taxis back to their hotels and inns. The inn at Stonecliff and Mission Point worked closely with Ashley to provide accommodations and packages to guests coming to use the amenities of the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. Stonecliff, the closest inn to the center, is a renovated mansion that was once a private family residence. Guests can stay in the mansion house or their newer summer house with modern suites.
We're working on building a paddock over there so you can saddle your horse up right over and park and have a meal before you get back on. If you're looking for more of the resort type feel, we also work with Mission Point downtown. So that's more of an all-inclusive. If you want to go get a massage after riding all day on the trails, it's definitely possible.
You love the island, you love horses. What does this location have to offer to the horse people that would like to come here and visit?
There's a lot of facets to it. We cover 18 acres. We've got 4 acres down here on the waterfront. You can choose to be as relaxed or as active as you want. You can go to the spas, you can go to any of our different outlets for food and beverage, or you can just sit on those Adirondack chairs out there and take in the view. Or you're not far from the Equestrian Center and the 60 miles of trails on the island.
So our viewers can call Ashley, bring their horses across on the ferry.
Yep.
That's an adventure, but it's a safe one.
It's a safe one.
And come over, put your horses over with Ashley, and stay here, dine here, and enjoy one of the most beautiful places in America.
We've put together a package to work with the Equestrian Center here that allows people to, once they board their horses, they can stay with us. They'll get breakfast, they'll get all-day bicycle rentals because their horse is a mile away.
What was your impression the first time you walked into this building with the logs and the high ceiling?
When I walk in here, I get surprised, I get impressed. You've got those giant timbers throughout the building. You've got the history, the sense of history in the building, the large fireplaces, and we've got, of course, very nice guest rooms to rest in. And we have 4-acre lawn down there that is just an absolutely stunning place to watch the freighters go by, the ore boats, the sailboats, and of course the occasional cruise ship.
Stay tuned, you're watching Best of America by Horseback. We're here in Michigan, we're here at the island. It just doesn't get any better. Stay tuned.
Best of America by Horseback is riding with viewers on Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association.
This is a horse community on a grand scale.
We're fortunate that this has been a vacation destination since the late 1800s, and thankfully in 1898 they outlawed the automobile so these horses could have a safe place to roam. And what a marketing genius that person was, because that's why people come here now.
What happens here? Events, festivals?
The biggest festival that we have is called the Lilac Festival. So usually on Father's Day Sunday we have a grand parade, and the grand parade is led by horses. It's the largest horse hitch parade in the United States. And so in addition to the lilacs, every year we have a fudge festival because we're also known as the fudge capital of the world.
We did take time to enjoy visiting downtown Mackinac with its many fudge shops and quaint locally owned stores and shops. Our crew joined several of the board members for dinner at the Pink Pony, and the recommended prime rib dinner was simply amazing. Our crew and viewers greatly appreciated being invited to be the very first organized ride held at the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. The Mackinac Horsemen's Association is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion, education, and future of horses and horsemen on Mackinac Island. Anyone can become a member to help them with their mission to keep this island just the way it is for generations to come.
The association runs off essentially donations.
It's all
from people.
donations. So
And you don't have to live on the island. You can donate whether you live in Michigan or in a different state,
right?
whether you've been here or not.
Correct, and if you do join as a member, you get our website, you get our newsletter that goes out every quarter, and then you can also, once you're a member, you can come to our opening party in June, and at no cost. So membership starts at $25, and we'd appreciate anybody we can get to help us.
We had the pleasure of spending a few days with Buck, touring the island with his team. He told us he was thinking about retiring this year. After all, he's been doing this for 60 years.
So how many years you been doing this, Buck?
Started in 58.
Oh my goodness.
It's continuing the skills and dedication of horsemen like Buck that the Mackinac Horsemen's Association is all about.
Steve, I know you're not done here with what you're doing on the island with horses. What do you hope for the future for the Horseman Association?
Our future are the kids. We had several of them ride yesterday in the ride, and they're here today, and we've decided we're going to start an equestrian team. So the girls today are taking little drawings of what their uniform is going to look like and the little badges. So right now our future is in the kids on the island, and that's what we're all about. So we want to promote equestrian riding, and the kids are involved, and without the kids there is no future. So that's what we're for.
For folks watching saying, hey, I want to do this, they call you, and then what's the next step? How do they plan this?
Yes, so the first thing to do is definitely call. And then we usually answer some initial questions and then push you onto our website. On our website, there's a page where you can do online registration. So you can pick out your dates, make sure that they're available. After you register, you receive a number of documents that kind of talk about the island, rules of the island, and kind of what we expect. And really, right up till the day you get here, we're available for you for questions that you have. The horses generally do really well on the boat. I would say usually if the owners are confident and pretty calm and relaxed, the horses, they follow right behind that. So we generally like to have groups of 6 to 8, no larger at a time, come over. We get lots of couples and young trail riders that come over for a couple days at a time. They load up on the boat. It's about a 35-minute ride over, and we make sure that the water is calm when you're coming over. Once you get over to the island, we get you off the boat and out of downtown and get you on your horse and ride you up to the facility.
This is the person in charge who will take care of you, whether you're just starting to ride, or you want to learn to ride, or you ride all the time. They can take care of you here. I love it. Best of America by Horseback hasn't ever been treated any better anywhere, and I kind of think we might come back.
For more information on visiting the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center on Mackinac Island in Michigan, log on to their website, mackinachhorses.org, or call them at 906-847-8034.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Best of America by Horseback on this magnificent island. If you'd like to join us on future rides or see where we're going to be, simply go to our website, www.bestofamericabyhorseback.com, and maybe you can join us on a future ride. I'm Tom Seay. Thank you so much for watching.